Okay, delicious ballad, Worlds Apart. Randy, pretty much on these tunes, on the Worlds Apart on this album and Two Turn on the JaR 2 album, I basically am his editor. He just starts banging out beautiful chord changes and comes up with these little tasty melody ideas here and there, and then all of a sudden groups everything together. And my job on these songs is rarely do I go, oh, sit down, let me move over, let me play this. On this song I go, well, it's okay that part, but then he'll go, okay, how about this? And I go, great. And then we move on and I go, maybe 8 bars later, maybe this change, try this, tries that, whatever, it works, or he comes up with something great right away. These are a piece of cake to write, and they're not easy. Melodically, if you looked at what this song looks like written out, it's going to look like a Joe regular musician's not going to have a clue what these chord changes are. They're really complex. And other than that, I'll let Rand take it because it's all about the lyric too. I mean,
you know, the thing about a ballad like Worlds Apart is it's very exposed, and I started off my songwriting career in Nashville, and when, I was a jazz guy living in Nashville in the 70s, but I was very, I noticed that a lot of those old country guys could write these real economical lyrics in that they could say in 5 words what a lot of people took 15 words to say.
Very good point.
And so I had been out visiting my daughter Sarah, who was working at the Getty Museum here in LA. And I was walking around the Getty Museum, and I was standing up on one of those high walls, looking at the view out towards the Pacific. And then I looked down, and I saw way down this huge walls. I saw this guy working in a garden down there. And he looked up at me, and I looked down at him, and I kind of waved, and he waved back. And so I thought, gosh, it's like 2 different worlds. I mean, sitting up here where all this fancy art is and everything, and then this guy's down here, working to make ends meet or whatever, I don't know. And so I kind of took that premise, which I do sometimes. I take a premise like that and really bend it around, and I came up with this sort of premise of a guy and a girl being, in many ways, in 2 different worlds. They were obviously in love, but they were going to have to just traverse this huge, vast distance between them in order to make it work, and it was very likely it wasn't going to work. And so they're worlds apart. And that's really, it happens in life with people in a lot of ways. So metaphorically it does. And so this song started off again as me just looking down off a wall into Getty. And I get a lot of song ideas that way, just out in the world. I go to a supermarket, or I stub my toe, or anything can start a song premise for me. So that's how Worlds Apart happened, lyrically.
I remember that after doing the basic track, I can't remember if it was the strings or the guitar solo first. I love playing nylon string guitar. I love playing guitar solos on nylon string guitar. And Rand likes that solo, which makes me happy.
Absolutely, one of the best ever. And it was, Jay, you're known a lot for your, guitar, your electric guitar stuff and everything like that, but it really showcases your amazing
it's a different
mastery
emotion
of the acoustic guitar.
The nylon string.
The nylon string.
It's a totally different emotion.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy playing it, and I hadn't touched the guitar in probably 15 years, and picked it up and played the solo. I just love that instrument. I just don't ever have a reason to play it. Also, the other thing that went down is when coming up with the string parts, we had asked Tim to see if he could come up with some string parts just for the hell of it, but I misled him. I said, think more like cellos. I don't know why I said that. I was wrong. So he sent something to us, and I wasn't making it. So I spent a night coming up with, once again using the term gash, which is, I'm thinking this is just gash. It's maybe on the right path, but it's not really right. But I do a good job, and I send it to Randy, and then when he gets up and listens to it, he says, I told him, I said, this is just a gash part, and he said, calls me up and says, you're out of your mind, it's perfect, you don't need to change a thing.
Jay's a great string pad arranger. I mean, he comes up with great parts. I mean, he
Thanks,
credits
man.
me for being the keyboard player on the album, and I do play a lot of the piano part and you know, solos and stuff like that. But Jay plays a lot of synth and pad. I mean, he does almost all the string stuff. And I look forward to him doing it because it's always great.
He's never had a problem with any of it, which is good. I think that's it for that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Worlds apart, 1,000 years of cold tradition separate them. They're joined heart to heart. They need to be in each other's arms. Love set free from its captive jar. How can it be when they're one?